All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. Really quickly, I want to give a quick shout out to my dad. Love you so much. Thank you for listening to all of these, okay? Very quickly, I was planning on doing an AI sector review. I had so many comments and questions about NVOS and TTOO that I'm going to end up covering those and making SOUNDHOUND, SOUN, the third one we cover here, all right? So, look, NVOS today was an important daily candle. All right, there is nothing more that I need to say other than that. All right, I'll talk about why it was an important candle. You know, it's interesting, and I'm actually just kind of noticing it right now, but this is surprising volume. It actually is. All right, and yeah, I'll see what that does to my thoughts as I'm kind of absorbing it live right now. And then sadly, TTOO, it was also an important candle today, but definitely the wrong day. I mean, sorry, the wrong way today. So, yeah, TTOO, I'm actually really disappointed in right now. But again, it just kind of goes to show you that, like, climbing the lines is one thing, but confirming the climb is more important, all right? And then SOUNDHOUND, honestly, I don't know what it really looks like. Truth be told, I know what Palantir looks like, and Palantir took a pretty rough drop. And if I'm not mistaken, NASDAQ took a pretty rough drop. So I'm going to go ahead and assume SOUNDHOUND did as well. All right. But we'll look at that one live together and I'll give you more of my thoughts and opinions shortly. But before we go any further, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines, as well as these diagonal trend lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here, giving me your time, letting me have these back and forth comments with you, man, how much more can a guy appreciate, all right? So let's get into it. I think I said that last sentence wrong, but you know what I meant, all right? So look, NVOS, very quickly, I see that we are down to 37 cents after hours. I do not care. All right. That drop means absolutely nothing to me. What I really care about is this regular hour view. All right. That's across every video. And today was big. Okay. Today was really big because again, we go over all the moving averages on some news that, you know, I think some people are excited about, some people are calling fake and BS. End of the day, it got us up, it kept us up, it allowed us to confirm. Those right there, those mean a lot to me. And again, I see it down to 36 even as I don't actually care, all right? Because again, what I do like is I like that the MACD is still positive. I like that the MACD went from down here to, like I said, look, yesterday it was even worse, right? The distances were further away. We're now getting closer and closer. I mean, seemingly exactly on it, right? What's MACD? Yeah, you can see the red line on the MACD is 0.03. The MACD itself now, as you can obviously see, is 0.02, right? So I mean, it is a hair away from finally overtaking it. And again, the RSI is a very beautiful 45. Like, there's still plenty of room before we even get to 80, let alone even higher. And we've seen it right here. Oh no, that was a 78. Look at that. Okay, you know what? Let's even just say 78. Let's even just say 80, right? Let's say it can't get any higher than 78. There's still a good little distance away from there and now. You know what I mean? So again, I started the video with the volume. Less like, obviously there's this downtrend, right? That's actually not what caught my eye. I am a little surprised that we gained a solid double-digit 15% gain, despite the fact that we couldn't even cross the 50 average line on the daily. Like, we should have been expecting 64 million, almost 65 million shares, right? We only got 38, right? Less than 40. So despite the fact that we couldn't cross the line, we still dropped the hammer. That's actually not too bad, all right? And look, I know a lot of YouTube people brag about like, hey, I made the call of when it started to pop and stuff. That's not what I do, right? I am here to, I like to say, give you a different perspective on what you can be doing yourself, right? But look, in the Discord, I'm a little proud of this, all right? At 12:27, again, I'm on the East Coast, right? So this is just before market close. I put NVOS, what's happening right now, confirmation, all right? If we go to the 15-minute chart, you can see this is 3 o'clock. This is 3:15. Again, I put it just before the 12:30, which is 3:30 Eastern, which is this candle right here when it started, all right? I posted a couple minutes before this candle and boom, boom, boom. I loved it, not gonna lie. NVOS has been it's been slippery, all right? It's been tricky. I said those words yesterday, right? And it was really cool to at least be able to catch it. Look, again, I'm still seeing it drop, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's now kind of starting to drop a little more than ideal. I'm not gonna pretend that that's not bothering me. Nonetheless, I gotta say it. I think after hours is a little bit of a fool's thing. I'm still relatively excited. This is a break. That's a confirmation. My goal really is that this thing actually now comes to 44. All right, basically another 10% from where we were today. All right, do I genuinely believe, sorry to zoom out so much, do I genuinely believe we're going to make our way up to this dollar and fill the gap? Not just yet. I don't know why, but not just yet. I think going back to seeing that, like, even in this view right here, we never really crossed that 80 RSI, right? So maybe if this run can squeeze in an 80 RSI, maybe that'll change my view. But it kind of seems like we might come back to this one more time and then hopefully not go any lower than 42 before making that run. I hope that made sense, but basically, let me just draw it. I would see something like this, okay? Then, oh, no, hold on. Sorry, you can tell I normally don't do this. Then something like, dude, come on, bro. Then something like that, and then hopefully on the third one, something like that, right? That is what I would love to see on this. And again, I'm kind of, I'll be honest with you, using that in that opinion two ways. Number one, what I see here and talking about this. Number two, obviously I'm looking at this thing. I'm obviously using some of my better ones, right? Like, again, I don't think that these are the best in the world or anything like that. Like, I'm not trying to say anything silly. These just actually do give me more information in this chart reader view that we're using here, right? But yeah, again, I think there are green, red. It's not silly to think green. I think it's like I said, I'm using this as that immediate line. I'm not going to draw it because honestly, I don't think it's enough to actually draw. But I do think that 44 could be something that stops us, all right? Where's the weekly at? There's a lot to like on the weekly, all right? So look at what I'm going to zoom in. It's funny because I just talked about how sad I was on the daily volume, right? The weekly volume is now in a really good place, all right? So what does that mean? Today is only Tuesday, okay? We, in the first 2 days, have already surpassed the weekly average volume, all right? That means we can literally trade 0 shares tomorrow, 0 shares the next day, and 0 shares on Friday and still close the weekly chart over the line. Obviously, I don't believe we're going to move 0 shares, right? And we're going to see another good week of volume. And again, there are still no real moving averages. We're in a positive MACD. We're in a positive RSI. You know what I want to do? And this is something I normally, let's take a month view. Where are we on the month? Damn, there's still no moving averages and get out of here. You're telling me we're already hitting the monthly number? Damn, that's not too shabby. Interesting. All right. Interesting. You know, I don't normally take long, like, please don't ask me what I think about the monthly. Honestly, I'm not the best, all right? This is still net, like, so much can happen between then and now. Like, I think it'd be very, very silly. But, yeah, there are some interesting things happening here, all right? Hey, I've got a genuine question here. Do we have any reverse split worries with NVOS? I know TTOO does, and like that's in nearly a 1 month window. I'm not sure if NVOS has also greenlit some sort of reverse split thing or not. Again, I swear, I'm just asking. I'm not here spreading rumors, spreading fears. You know I don't know a lot of like news and technicals, but do I have to worry about a little bit of a trap door on NVOS? Let me know, please. I would actually really, really appreciate that. But the last thing I want to share is someone in the YouTube comments yesterday said that the CEO was planning on giving some additional information about the $1 billion headline. That's obviously still kind of been the real big thing the last few days, right? Again, I don't necessarily care what he says. I care what the lines in the market say. What, you know what I mean? So we'll see what it goes. I think, and it was a thing I tried to say yesterday, right? I think the fact that this thing has seen a short sell article from a pretty important short seller, Hindenburg, I think is who it is. I really don't know the name. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm not whatever, right? But the fact that it survived that is a little bit of a testament. But yeah, NVOS, I think today's a good candle. And one last time, unless there's some crazy news that I don't know, and I'm not really checking my, even this candle ain't that bad. I'll be honest with you. But again, you know, I really only care about regular hours. So NVOS, there is a lot to like here. All right, let's come into TTOO. Let's come into TTOO, and man, I even said it in the Discord. I was a little mean, so I want to like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? 1 second. Oh man, I'm not gonna find it. I'm wasting time. I'm sorry. What really, really bothers me about TTOO is the excitement I had getting over the 100 moving average. The excitement I had over getting over the 8 moving average was completely wiped away today. All right. We are now, I mean, you can see it, right? I wish there were more decimals to like allow me to see where things are. We are for sure under the 100. This one is actually kind of making it look like we're still over the 8. I think when I looked at TTOO, it was probably still with another 15 minutes left of trading, and it probably had a decent last 15. It did. It got a nice little pop actually on the last two 15-minute candles. I'm disappointed. Like the word, like you. Okay, let me take a breath. Okay. When the volume is this bad, let alone that it was a red day, and like yesterday's volume was bad. Yesterday's volume was 43 million. Today's was another 25% less, right? We basically chop off 10 million on a stock that has only 4, right? So we lose a quick 25% of yesterday's volume, right? We lose a moving average. Like I said, we were 30 minutes away from losing the 8 as well. And in all honesty, I'm looking at the 8 coming down, and I don't think, you know, like this is actually a death cross. I haven't even talked about that yet. But when a little one goes below a big one, that's called a death cross. All right. So I was excited when we broke the 100 because we were below all 5, the 200's up here, right? Like we were below all 5 lines and ready to go. We then, and I use the word miraculously, not to be rude, but let's be honest, miraculously, this pop right here, I don't think I missed any headlines. This pop was because NVOS ran 100+% after hours. This pop definitely held a little better than NVOS too, and you know I gave it the credit that it deserved this day. The next day, yesterday, yesterday, Monday, like I said, holds the 100, breaks the 8, starting to make me believe we might actually come to at least this 25, if not even this 28, right? Like, I believe those things, right? But the one thing I kept saying was confirmation. And look, there wasn't even a fake out. We don't even like open anywhere near this, right? Like we go and drop, and that's a little scary. It is, right? And what makes me worried is what I was talking about on a couple other, like, if we lose this, there's a really good shot that we're coming down to, I mean, I've been talking about 17, 16, like, we're essentially right here, right now, give or take. If we lose this 21, I don't know if 20 cents will hold. And man, we might, maybe that'll hold. Because that's kind of the top and the bottom. That's 16. Like, I think this is a much better line than this. But see, this is also the gap fill. Damn. All right, that's what I'm drawing right here. I don't know if I should delete this 14. That's kind of why I went silent right there. And I don't know if I should draw this 20. I don't know if that becomes kind of like a line overload or not, but man, I think this fast up and this fast down, I feel like I keep saying, I will be honest with you all, I'm not looking at TTOO that much, all right? I for real, like, this was the moment where I thought it was going to go and run. When it never did it, man, I never looked back and I never regretted it. Don't get me wrong. I keep saying, the easiest thing to say is once the 50 average breaks, I'll probably get in. The one issue I'm definitely seeing, though, is this purple line is now getting lower and lower. What used to be a better almost 2x run, again, I'm not trying to undermine it, right? Like a run from 30 cents to 50 cents is still a little more than 50%, right? Like you're adding 20 cents basically on that's 66% actually, right? But look, the line is going down every single day. And like by the end of the week, man, it might even be down to here, right? And realistically, this one either at least like, if we like, the longer it takes to break, the closer and closer this thing will go, and like that break the 50 and run to 200 is going to even look worse. You know what I mean? And I'm still seeing this 20 moving average going down pretty consistently. Like the 8, like I said, just death crossed the 100. Volume, man, volume volume was this low and worse before. Sorry, I'm drawing it too low right there. You can see that like down here is like a relatively normal low number. And then before that was basically a lot of insignificant nothing, right? So, we're also like well below any sort of downtrend, uptrend, because just give me a sec. Let me draw from here to here. I'm going to correct the line. Don't get me wrong. Oh, I don't even think I can draw that. So I can't even draw that. Hold on. So that's for sure. So I'm going from this corner to what looks like all that corner and that corner. But I think this is this trend line, right? Like obviously there was a much better one. Obviously there was a little bit less. Like we're now here. Man, I'm trying to like look for some positive here is really what I'm trying to do in all my silences. I don't think there's anything more than believing this is coming to 16 cents. Look, theoretically, these two lines should be a nice little bounce point for this thing to go back up. My genuine belief is it would have been easier to confirm and continue than it would be to come down and go, because it's not like the RSI was high and needed to reset. I think this is coming down to 16, not trying to make a run up to 27 or even just this trend line at around 26. So, yeah, that's all I got here. It looks like the weekly still trying to hold, man, that 20 cent line. Maybe it was worth drawing because of this weekly. Yeah, if 20 cents doesn't hold, it's a quick drop to 14. That's another 20% drop from to 16. That's a 4 cent drop, and that's another 20% drop to from where we're at. So yeah, TTOO, there's not a lot of good to say. So look, coming into Soundhound, and like I said, I actually really wanted to make an AI sector review. So the first thing I want to say for all the Soundhound people is, look, you need to look at NASDAQ, all right? And NASDAQ had a really scary rejection today, all right? I've been kind of talking about this for a while, right? From here, I started worrying we were going to come down to the 100 moving average. We clearly were able to avoid it, and then all of a sudden my fears started to repeat itself. And once we lost it, I started saying, because that's the rules, right? Break this, go to this, break this, go to this, break this, go to this, break this, go to this. Lose this, go to this, lose this, go to this, lose this, and go to this. We were starting to show the signs of going down. There was all of a sudden a nice little recovery. But again, you hear me say it on individual stocks, and let alone, doesn't matter, right? Like, you fall away from the 8, you come to the 8, and then you fall away from the 8, right? Like, MACD is still going negative and negative and negative. We're still living in a sub 30 RSI. Like, that's pretty wild, especially for an indice, all right? And NASDAQ struggling. Obviously, the government didn't shut down, but the exact same weekend fears are like, what, 42 days away now, 43 days away? It's only been a couple days, right? Like, we will be doing this exact same dance in November, if I'm not, yeah, November 15th is what I think it is, right? 45 days from the 1st. So, you know, the government shutdown didn't happen. The government shutdown wasn't avoided, though, okay? And again, especially when you're dealing, like, I don't know if SoundHound itself deals with the government. I know Palantir does, right? But when the government shuts down, man, like, they're not placing orders and stuff like that. But just looking at SoundHound itself, all right, we're dude, there's nothing else to say. We're at the mercy of the 8 and the 20. We are, all right. It was a beautiful. It was actually not a beautiful. It was a choppy ride, but it was a good ride up when we had it. But it's now been a pretty hard ride down. We were at one point below all the moving averages. We tried it, and again, this is what the stock was not that long ago. You can't get over the 8. You can't get over the 8. You're able to get to the 20. Can't get over the 8. Able to get to the 20. Can't get over the 8. Able to get to the 20. Can't get over the 8. That's what we're seeing right here. Actually, right here too. Can't get under it, get to the 20. Can't get under it, get to here. Can't get under it, get to the 20, right? Like, a little dance here, but can't get under it, get to here. Can't get under it, get to the 20. Like, all we're doing is dancing with the 8 and the 20, and unfortunately, we're not dancing the right way, where it's like, you can't lose it, you can't lose it, you can't lose it. Ideally, you would have bounced up, but obviously we didn't, right? But this is very, very much dependent on NASDAQ. If NASDAQ actually does continue down and continue down and continue down and come to the 200, that's a hard fall, all right? And dude, that is a green. I guess I'll draw this. You know, I don't draw a lot of indice lines. I think that's a decent one, and what I'm going to do is color this one, because I think I'm going to end up deleting it at some point, because it looks like that might be where the 200 ends up going by the time this gets here. Hopefully it takes that slow of a ride, right? But maybe this will help it. I'll be honest, from 13.1 to 12.7 could be a pretty fast fall, actually. So be a little bit careful with NASDAQ, and ultimately SoundHound is just, it's not above it, all right? Right now, I'm actually expecting a rejection of the 20 to mean a loss of the 8 moving average and a fall continuing on down. We already hit the bottom of that, right? We essentially bounced from that. My line was a little bit lower. Again, you know I'm not here for perfect, right? I took it off this one instead of the bottom of this one, whatever. right? End of the day, we saw a rough bounce around here. We were able to get back up. I think we're going to come back down. And I really think we might be coming to this. I do. Especially if I'm saying that this line is wrong and it should have been right there, right? So, yeah, if we hit this again, it should be a fast fall to 125. I think there's more reason to believe that this is going to drop to $1.25 than there's any reason to believe this is going to come up to 275, let alone 3+. So I actually would not touch SoundHound. Easy to say, wait for 270 and go. Maybe do $2.20 up to like $2.55. That's not a bad window. And realistically, this is going to keep going down as this stays up, and that's going to become a juicier little channel. I think break the 50 and a ride up to the 200 might be a good trade here, but I will be honest with you. I think it's going to be like something like this where it might be actually hard to get back over the 50 as well. I think they're all working their way down just a little much. So SoundHound scares me for sure. Hey, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, as always, thank you.